Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nutley, Crowborough and Groombridge Light Railway, where the observant of you will notice we now have a loop line, although it's not actually stuck down yet or even got wires on it, because I thought this would be the ideal opportunity to show you how I lay track, how I do the wires. As you can see elsewhere, all the wires dangling down. You can't see them on the side of the track though, which is what we're aiming for, obviously. And you will also see, you will see here, we have got a set of points and a few bits of flex that were the right length to fill the space when put together out of the collection I got. And you'll also see, if you look over at the back, that we now have some buffer stops on the end of all the sidings, even this one down here. So that is that done. There are buffer stops. We have enough track now. We just need to get it wired and down, and then that is the end of track laying. So step one of track laying has actually already been done, and that is to make sure the track fits. So obviously it is down. You can see there's a couple of drawing pins at the moment holding it in place, just to make sure it all fit nicely, which evidently it does. So I'm going to take the new bits of track we have here out, and I'll see you over at the workbench. Be right back. And welcome back to the workbench. So, as you can see, I've got all the track that is new and not yet wired. Here, I've got some cable, some pliers, some wire strippers, some solder, some flux, a knife, my trusty pin for applying solder, and of course the soldering iron, all ready to go. So before we start this, when I am doing soldering like this and getting the wires, I lay all my track out first in the order that it will go on the layout in. So when you saw it, this part was connected to here, this part to here, this part to here. So they are all in the same order as they will be on the layout, which makes life that little bit easier for remembering what needs soldering where. And we have some little special considerations to take into account for the points, because I do not like relying on fish plates for transferring the power. Fish plates get damaged, fish plates lose connection. I mean, I've got a fish plate here that I'm assuming has come off of the bit of track connecting to here based on where it's fallen. I need to check that. That's obviously got a terrible connection and wouldn't be transferring the electricity. So every bit of rail needs wiring. So at the moment, if we just wired the two outside rails, then the point blades, the sections through here, and the frog would all be relying on the contact of the point blades as they fire to provide the electricity. That's not going to do for me. So when we're wiring points like these, if we look on the bottom, there's already a section here missing the webs. So we'll cut away these bits of the web, and we'll put the dropper coming across from this rail to this rail and down, and vice versa on the other side, so that we get wire droppers to all this centre section. And you can see here the wires across the middle that are transferring power from this rail to this rail and this rail to this rail. So we won't have anywhere on the layout that doesn't have a direct connection back to the power unit. So I'm going to get on and do all that. I will, in fact, one more thing. I have been cutting all of the wires for this to exactly 12 inches based on just a standard ruler. So I'll measure out 12 inches, cut it, clear the ends, tin them, get them soldered. So I'm going to get on with that. Let's cue up the saxophones and enter super fast soldering mode. Okay, and that is that done. So all our bits now have droppers, and you can see what I mean about crossing over and getting both of them on the point. So these two rails are both connected to green, these two are both connected to red. I will probably stick a file in this gap in between and just clean up the edges, but other than that, the next thing to do is to get it all on the board. So I need to go and get the layout out of its cubby hole so that we can have a look at the board, get some holes drilled in it for the droppers to drop through, and get the track stuck down. So I'll be right back when I've got the layout in a more accessible place. See you in a second. And we're back. That didn't take long, did it? Like, literally as long as it takes for my fade out and fade in to come on. It's incredible what you can do with the magic of editing, isn't it? Because it's in fact a whole new day. But what we have here is all the tools we're going to need to get this track stuck down with the wires hidden. So we have obviously all the track, we have a pen, we have a paintbrush, we have a very nearly empty PVA glue, some drawing pins and a drill. So what do? Well, first thing we do is we measure up, we put the track on, we check where the cables will drop through, we mark it with the pen, we drill some holes. And then, once that is all done, we've got all the holes drilled, we can lay the track down, get it all plugged in nicely, make sure it fits, at which point we then pull it back up a bit, get some glue down underneath it, and just literally paint the glue all over there, get it back down, get it held down with drawing pins whilst the glue dries. See, this bit still needs gluing. As you can see now that it's out, it's not actually stuck down. That was done so that I could actually get the point in and out. So it will be great to have this finally done. So let's We'll move the camera in closer, get the first bit marked up, and then it'll be time to cue the jazz and go into super fast build mode. So we will start with the point here. Now I line that up so that its fish plates line up to where it will join, and obviously having the track plan printed means I know where it will sit. I can just mark those holes out, so there'll be one there, and also one through the bottom. And the point to make here is the layout is up on stilts a couple of inches tall, so that when I put the drill through, I will not be going into my dining table. And a couple of inches is plenty because we are dealing with a bit that is very small. It's actually from the hand drill. So it must now be time to cue the jazz and get the track laid. Okay, and that is that done. So there is the loop down. Obviously it's not down very well right now because it's not stuck down. There's a big kink here that will be sorted out when it's laid properly. And you'll notice that for these two bits I haven't actually drilled through the baseboard yet. And that's just because of how far away from the edge they are. I do have some known points, top and bottom of this board, that I can measure from, so I will go underneath, I'll turn the board over and drill up from underneath to get some holes closer to where these cables are to run them through. And that will give us that little bit extra underneath the baseboard to play with. Not that I think I'm actually going to need it, but let's do it properly anyway, eh? So that'll be the next thing I do. I will do that quickly off camera and then come back so that we can stick the track down. And you'll also notice that a couple of, well, you might have noticed, I don't know how well it showed up, there were a couple of times the fish plate fell off and had to put it back on. That is why we put power to every single bit of rail and not just rely on the fish plates. So I'll get those holes drilled and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with some neater cabling. The holes have now been drilled underneath here and the cables from these two bits of track poked down through them, so they are now where they will live. That leaves us with our next job to do is to stick the track down. So what we're going to do, we're going to lift it back up first, plaster some glue all over the section that needs to be stuck down, which is from the toe of this point here up both tracks, because this one isn't stuck down either, across and through to this point. The point itself is stuck down, it's just this track that isn't. So we will get that done, get all that done, and the layout will finally have all its track laid. So the glue goes down, the track goes back down on top of it, and the drawing pins just get pushed down to hold the track in place whilst the glue dries. Ideally you want to be leaving that for at least 24 hours. If I want to get this video out on time, I probably can't quite leave it that long, so I'll have to judge how well it is drying myself. We're very nearly out of PVA. Luckily I do have another tub now, but I think we've got enough in there to get this done. So, it must be time to queue up those saxophones again and enter super fast build mode as we get this track down. And there we have the last of the track stuck down. So you can see it's an absolute mess. Glue everywhere, drawing pins everywhere. But it's done, that is it. All the track is now down. So the next thing to do will be to sort out the wiring underneath so that all these droppers actually go somewhere. But for now, for this video, I guess I'd best let this dry, get it back in place, and get something running over the new bit of track we've laid. So I'll see you when that's done. And we return to the layout where Helllooooo is now running, and as you just saw, taking the new bit of track that we've laid. So that does in fact bring to an end the track laying on this layout. We can actually start work on the C-Mix properly, which is quite a scary thought now, since so far my C-Mix consists of some bits of coloured paper and a couple of bits of hardboard cut not even nearly to the right shape. But there we go, the loop is in, that is it. The track is laid for the Nutley Crowborough Groombridge light railway. So this one's been a long one. Hopefully you've learned something, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have made it all the way to the end of the video, you are an absolute legend, thank you very much. Please do drop down there, like, comment, subscribe, let me know if you've enjoyed this more tutorial-y type of video. I will do some more if you have. But for now, from me and Helllooooo, it is a thank you, a goodbye, and like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Bye for now.